I love hunting in thrift stores for books. It's so fun. It's really like a treasure hunt. Welcome back to part 2 of my book haul. Sorry. I don't even know where to begin. Like I said, I went to 3 different thrift stores before, and I think I went to one of them twice. I wasn't in any of them very long. Well, okay, one of them I was. But most of them I only ran in for about 10 minutes and just quickly looked through the bookstore and grabbed the ones that really stuck out to me as something that I really wanted off the shelf. So, I'm going to start with the books first that my son picked out. So my son broke his arm. Sad, right? He broke his arm at the beginning of June. And so I took him into the doctor, and afterwards I took him thrifting. He wasn't necessarily so excited because it took forever, but he came out with more books than I did because he loves to read, and I knew he'd be reading a lot this summer. So I'm going to show you some of the books that he grabbed. So he got these 2 books. These are interactive history adventures. So this is the Attack on Pearl Harbor. There are 3 story paths, 51 choices, and 19 different endings. And he is obsessed with World War II right now. So he's got a lot of those, you'll see. So the Attack on Pearl Harbor, and then World War II pilots. He told me he's done all 3 of them, but I need to remind him there's multiple different endings in each story path. So I think he's not quite done yet. He also got 10 True Tales Heroes of Pearl Harbor, which he has started but not finished yet. Then he got 10 True Tales War Heroes from Iraq. So I liked that he was at least looking at a different war for a little bit. What else did he get himself? Where's his books? Okay, he got A Boy at War. I had seen this before and considered getting it for him anyways, so he saw it and got it for himself as it was. Then he got himself this book called Dolphin Song. I have no idea what this is, but he picked it up, read the back, and said, I want this. And I said, okay. Okay, it just says, just as Martina is settling into life on the Wildlife Game Reserve, she's whisked away on a school trip. She must leave her white giraffe, Jeremy, for 2 weeks. Her class is going on an ocean voyage to witness the sardine run, a spectacular natural phenomenon off the coast of South Africa. What begins as an exciting adventure quickly turns perilous when a storm blows up and Martina and her classmates are thrown overboard into shark-infested waters. They're saved by a pod of dolphins, only to end up marooned on a deserted island. The castaways, at odds with one another, must figure out not only how to survive, but how to help the dolphins when a terrible danger threatens them. He really likes dolphins. It's his favorite animal, so he was really excited about this. I don't know if I know he started this, and I don't see a mark in it. I'm not sure if he's finished it or not. He got Princess Label Maker to the Rescue. He has 4 others of these. He's missing one somewhere in the series, but he said he wanted to go ahead and get this because he had the others. I mean, whatever. Lastly, he got 3, one of them he's currently reading, of these Minecraft books that he really likes. The Mystery of Herobrine. So he's currently reading the 3rd one, which is why I don't have it here. Then I found some books that are just books to keep on our bookshelf that I've heard are good or that I would like to read with them at some point. I have some books that are just books I kind of have on my watch list of things that I want on my bookshelf. I don't know when we will get around to reading them, but I just have heard good things about them or seen them on lists and thought they sounded interesting. So we have A Long Walk to Water. We have Julie of the Wolves. I almost didn't get this, and then I read the back, and I think that it sounds like something my boys will actually really like. I got The Tiger Rising. My son read Because of Winn-Dixie and enjoyed it, and then I think this looks like a little bit easier reading, so he'll enjoy it more because it was just a little hard for him, but he liked the story. So we're gonna give this one a try. I got The K. I've been really interested in this story. I'm not sure if, like, the writing looks like it's appropriate for closer to my 3rd grader than my 6th grader, but it's always listed for like 5th graders on book lists. So I haven't decided where we're gonna go with it. Maybe we'll just do it as a read aloud at some point because that seems to work well for those kind of books that kind of are in between. I found this Hardy Boys Adventures. My oldest enjoys the Hardy Boys books, like if I ever get them, but he doesn't beg for them. My 8-year-old tried one, thought it was a little scary, so didn't want to finish it. So I went ahead and got this one. This is different from the other Hardy Boys and thought we'd give it a try. So my oldest is excited to read it, and we'll see if my 3rd grader can get into it a little. I got Al Capone Does My Shirts. I don't know anything about this. I really don't. It just always pops up on reading lists. It's got a little honor, whatever. So it's just a good one, I think, to have around for when I'm looking for reading to give him, like he needs something assigned to him. I always assign him books. And this year I'm planning to give him choices, and I feel like this is just a good one to have that he can choose from. And then I got Making Bombs for Hitler. I actually had just seen this book, I don't even remember where. I think in a magazine or something, like in a brochure, and thought it looked really interesting. Again, my son's obsessed with World War II. He's already told me he can't wait to read this. I think it's a very interesting perspective about how people other than Jews were still forced to do things. Like, it wasn't just the Jewish people that were mistreated. And so I like sometimes looking at it from slightly different angles. So there are those. I got The Mostly True Adventures of Homer P. Fig. I literally know nothing about this book, other than apparently it must be halfway decent. The writing in it is a little hard for my 3rd grader, but I know he can make it through this book. He's made it through difficult books if I assign it to him, and so he just reads a little bit every day and break it up into chunks. I am currently looking for a book for him to read during the American Revolutionary War time period of our history. So I'm going to read this and see if I think it's something he will enjoy and be able to, like, latch onto, or if it's still too difficult. So if you have read The Mostly True Adventures of Homer P. Fig, tell me what you thought about it and what reading level you feel like it is. Okay, I grabbed this White Fang, this Junior Classics for Young Readers. I have a couple others upstairs. I really, really think that my boys will love the stories of White Fang and Call of the Wild and all of those. We enjoy the movies, like Iron Will. We really enjoy things like that. He really enjoyed Stone Fox, which is similar to these books. So, got that for him. Then I was really excited to find this, but I have absolutely no idea when or how I'm going to use it. This Treasury of Literature for Children. This has over 60 stories. So you can just see it just kind of, this table of contents keeps going. And it has all these cute old pictures in it. Find it. a picture. And all of the stories that you have grown to just love. Winnie the Pooh is in here. The Ugly Duckling. Things by Rudyard Kipling. Just so many old stories that we don't always think to tell our kids nowadays. And so I'm excited to find a way to work this into reading with my kids. They need to know these stories. I really haven't decided how I'm going to. If you have any suggestion of how to do it or when I can do it, I really don't know. I have some ideas, but that's another thing I would love a suggestion for. So I've been keeping an eye out. I was really excited. This is my first one that I found. These Everything You Need to Ace American History in one big fat notebook. This is the middle school study guide. And it's really literally is just like written as notes. So I figured this is something else, kind of like my Everything You Need to Know about American history. This is kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit more in depth. That I'll be able to grab and just look up whatever subject we're going on and find some little facts to throw in there and round out some of their knowledge. I grabbed this is 10 Grammables by Learning Resources. My kindergartner's math curriculum has tangrams, like he does a lot of tangrams in them, and he really enjoys it. So this just takes it kind of a step further and gives him more things to do. The problem I found, we don't have the right tangrams. This uses a different kind. This uses the boxed tangrams that have the big triangles. We do not have big triangles in ours. We only have smaller triangles. I don't think we have that. So I need to get some new tangrams to go with this. Oh darn. But I'm excited, and he's really excited about it, so I hope I can find them. Okay, the last section of books are books for me. That's right. So I usually am reading books. Like I said, I was going to read this Homer P. Fig book. I'm usually reading books that I'm previewing for my kids or I'm reading along with them. I don't always get to read books that are just for me. But I found some that are for me. Some of them will be read alouds with them, but I got them because they were books I wanted. So firstly, I got The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. When I was in high school, maybe early college, my parents had almost all the Michael Crichton books. I think they inherited them from my grandmother, and I went through and read most of them. And once you get about halfway through into the books, the beginning part is very like logged down with science. But once you kind of get through that and you get to the adventure, like the action stuff, I really love his science fiction books. It's kind of like a secret passion of mine. So I hadn't realized, I haven't read them in forever because my parents got rid of them apparently. And so I found this and picked it up and said, you know what, I'm going to start grabbing these books because I want to reread all of them. They're super fun, and gotta watch out for the language though, so I wouldn't give them to kids. I got this book called Peak, which is about climbing Mount Everest. I did not know what it's about, but I actually think my middle schooler will like this book. It's about a boy who is kind of tricked into climbing Mount Everest with his stepdad because he like gets in trouble. Anyways, and he learns some really important lessons along the way, and it was really good. It really kind of gave you a little bit of insight into what it's like to climb those high mountains, and I really liked it. I got this book out of my mind that it is on my middle school's reading level, but I really wanted to read it. It is about a girl who, let's see, it says Melody is the smartest kid in her whole school. She apparently has like a photographic memory, but no one knows it. Most people don't think she's capable of learning, and up until recently, her school days consisted of listening to the same preschool level alphabet lessons again and again and again. If only she could speak up and tell people what she thinks and knows, but she can't because Melody can't talk or write or walk. Being stuck inside her head is making her go out of her mind until she discovers something that will allow her to speak for the first time ever. But not everyone around her is ready to hear her. So because my kids currently are being homeschooled, I like the idea of giving them books that help them see other people. They're not around as many like different people, and they're especially not around very many disabled people. We do have a couple of cousins who have some disabilities, and they've moved here recently, and that's opened their world a little bit. But I even noticed at their elementary school, I never noticed a special education class. I don't know if I just never came across them, which would have been weird because I was in their school quite a bit, or if there really wasn't one in our school for some reason. I really don't know, but they haven't been exposed to people with severe disabilities. So this is a book that I really wanted him to read. We also read Wonder a couple years ago, and we will probably read that eventually, read aloud as a family to discuss those things. So I'll be reading this first because I think it sounds really interesting, but I also really hope it's something I feel comfortable having him read. I have another book that I am hoping to get that is about a girl with autism called Real that looks really good. And so I'll let you know if I get that one. So I got A Dog's Journey. We have A Dog's Purpose already. I have read both of them. I loved both of them. We have, as a family, watched both the movies, and my kids love them. So I got A Dog's Journey because I just like to have the whole set. I got Anne of Green Gables. This is one of my favorite books. My mom has the set at home. It's my old set, but for some reason, the first one is missing. I don't know if my sister has it or what, but honestly, I don't know if I ever read past the second book anyways. I think I tried to. I wasn't very interested once Anne grew up. I love the first one and I really liked the second, but after that I lost interest. So I don't need the whole set here at my house. But I really think my boys will connect with Anne Shirley as a young girl, and that they will absolutely love it. And if I can find it, they'll love the movie. So I got that for me and them. I got The Fault in Our Stars. I've never read this. I have watched the movie. I know that it's a tearjerker. I'm not really one to cry, but this one really came very close as a movie to make me cry, which means the book may just do it for me. But I did really love the movie, so I'm excited to read it. I got Water for Elephants. I actually don't know anything about this. So if you know anything about this, tell me. And it doesn't explain anything on the back. But I know it was recently made into a movie, and I know a lot of people talked about it, but I don't know. It says like gritty, sensual, and charged with dark secrets. Doesn't really sound like something that's me, so I may not finish it, but I guess we'll see. If you know anything about it, let me know. I really don't know why I picked this up. I don't usually pick up books that I don't know anything about. And I definitely don't usually pick up books that I say, oh, that's a movie, must be a good book, because I know that's not true. But for some reason I picked this up. I don't know, guess I'll be surprised. And lastly, I got The Kite Runner. I have read this a few times. I have seen the movie. I actually already own, there's another book by the same author called 1,000 Splendid Suns, and that is one of my favorite books of all time. So if you've read The Kite Runner but you've never gone to read 1,000 Splendid Suns, because this one got a lot more hype, I highly recommend that one, especially as a woman, to read it. It's more about women's rights in Afghanistan, while this is more about people's rights as a whole. So I loved the other one. I wanted this one too, and I was really excited to find it. So on that note, you can see by my 2 haul videos that I have got a lot of work to do in figuring out where to put all of this. But I love hunting in thrift stores for books. It's so fun. It's really like a treasure hunt. It's more fun to me than hunting on, like, I enjoy Book Outlet, which, you know, I'll have the code or whatever, and I enjoy Thriftbooks, but it's not nearly as much fun to like just type in a title I'm searching for than to just peruse a shelf of books and find something like The Kite Runner buried in amongst a bunch of cookbooks, because Goodwill does a terrible job sorting their books. So it's always like a happy surprise when I actually find something good. It's usually buried in the midst. They have tons of politics books and cookbooks and self-help books. And so to find like other things is like really fun and exciting. So if you haven't been thrifting lately, I encourage you to do it. Give yourself some time. Give yourself half an hour. It doesn't take long. Just let yourself go. Scan it as fast as you can. See what pops out. And so let me know if you find anything good when you go out thrifting, or let me know if you found anything recently. Also, let me know about the books that I didn't know anything about. So we've got Homer P. Fig, Water for Elephants, and the Al Capone book. I would love to hear your take on those books, as well as how do you think I should incorporate this treasury of literature? Like, how do I incorporate that with all my kids? How do I read this to them when I'm already doing read-alouds and reading picture books that go with our history and science? Like, I feel like it will kind of do a push and pull thing. So if you have any suggestions for that, maybe I will read it to them at night. If we read like one story at night, sometimes as a group, maybe that will help them like calm down. I don't know. Just a thought. If you have any other thoughts on that, great. And happy hunting.